Hey, there we are. We're live now.
We made it.
We made it. Welcome, everyone. Give everyone a couple minutes to get in here.
Hello, hello, hello.
This is the Untapped.in Frontier League Season 4 semifinal matches. We're covering King of the Hill, aka Fink, versus Loop Holbrook, aka Loop.
And we're getting to see opening hands as the 2 seed in this tournament. Loop gets to choose play or draw, and he has obviously chosen play.
He's
And he's on Esper vehicles, and then Fink, as the 6 seed, will be on the draw with his Jund midrange deck, classic Jund, grind him out.
when in
Opening
doubt,
hands,
Jund him
I
out.
like Loop's hand. He has a 1-drop that'll be a 3-power attacker on turn 2, thanks to, actually not quite on turn 2, but it will be a 3-power attacker by turn 3, since Sunken Hollow will be coming into play tapped.
Yes.
So if he gets an untapped
if he gets
land,
untapped, yes.
then
Untapped
he's
source.
all business. Specifically a basic, because then his third turn will also be untapped.
Yeah, if he can get any untapped source or an untapped basic, that hand looks really good. Classic curve 1, 2, 3, toolcraft exemplar, very powerful. Starting to see some more standard play again with Marty vehicles.
Yep.
On the other side, slower
it's
hand,
slow.
but it's a pretty good hand too.
It really wants untapped black on turn 1.
If he can get an untapped black source, he's got access to a bunch of pretty good stuff. Duress is going to be able to pick away that Gideon, which is a huge threat.
Yeah.
And then Fatal Push takes care of any of the problematic creatures that he wants. So
Yeah, Duress not great in this matchup since it's often about the creatures, but in this spot, it's going to be pretty solid if he ever has time to cast it. And with that, I think we're good to go, so I'll let the players know.
yep.
You already did. All right.
All right. So here's a Sunken Hollow. So he's going with a slower route. Looks like he wants to get out Scrap Heap Scrounger on turn 2 consistently.
I think that's fair.
I think it's very fair. So here's untaps, draws a card. Avacyn's pretty nice.
Avacyn's a good card. You want to draw it after you already have a bunch of lands. He really wanted to land here.
Yeah, he definitely wants one more source so he can cast Thalia and Spell Queller and start to hold up Spell Queller as the mid-combat trick for things like Fatal Push. So
Sylvan Advocate's nice.
Advocate's
It's
a pretty good card.
Something he can play right now. He might also go for something like push, play Smoldering Marsh, and then play Liliana on turn 3. I could see that.
I would not be shocked to see the Smoldering Marsh come out here and either push or duress, depending. I definitely think playing Liliana on turn 3 is where you want to be, or at the very least, it also gives him the option to flex into Doomfall.
Yeah.
So it looks like the duress.
I think Duress is nice because it's probably your one chance to get in ahead of Gideon. Because you don't know, obviously, that your opponent is stuck on lands.
Yep. So now he sees not only the Gideon and that his Doomfall is going to be on mode exile a creature, but he also sees the missing land. Okay, well, there it is. Land number 3, right on cue.
Never didn't have it.
It's what we call playing to our outs, right? It's actually what we call lucky top decks.
I'm pretty sure I like playing Thalia here. It just makes it so hard since he already has early pressure out for his opponent to block.
Thalia, really good blocker, really pretty decent attacker, and making sure that non-basics are going to enter tapped is...
It's absolutely fantastic when you have a board advantage.
It's pretty backbreaking, no matter what format you see her in. That's a very backbreaking ability that I think is somewhat underrated. So this looks like it's going to be an Advocate run out, and it is.
And then
Advocate push Thalia. Why is Advocate tapped? That's weird. Okay.
No, Thalia has
Thalia. That's right.
Yeah. No,
That's
Thalia's
right.
busted.
Yeah, she's great. Every time it's like, yeah, no, it just taps everything. Right.
I think the plan here is clear out the creatures so that Doomfall is good.
That's probably what it's going to be, but...
That's going to get eaten by Spellcaller.
So he either has... So yeah, he's holding up Spell Queller. His other line there could have been run out Exemplar and then Fatal Push the Advocate.
Could
But
also Murderous Cut. He has enough cards in his graveyard.
so he can Murderous Cut here. He could Doomfall. I
I think you got a Doomfall so
I
that
think
later you can Murderous Cut plus a spell.
well if you run out the Doomfall and I think you let it get eaten by Spell Queller. Okay, so he's gonna go for the Murderous Cut first. The other side of the coin being that you know about the Spell Queller, so instead you just let your Doomfall get eaten and then you get to Murderous Cut the Spell Queller and you get a 2-for-1 essentially. I can't untap, he says. Alright, see if that sorts itself out here really quickly.
I imagine we're just going to see a push here.
I think he wanted to Spell Queller before he realized it was out of CMC range.
Yeah.
Push Advocate.
Oh, yeah.
Okay,
Since
so.
Dahlia's going to die. Yeah.
Okay, yep.
And then he gets back his scrap heap, and
It's good to go.
I imagine we still leave up Spellcaller.
Next turn, yes. There's not as much of a point, I think, at this juncture to running out Toolcraft. He's got enough of a clock on board.
Yeah.
Second Avacyn's definitely not the draw you want to see here.
No.
But still applying great pressure. We've already got Finks down to 11.
Land is pretty good for Fink.
Land is great. This is Land Kalidas, and...
That's going to meet a sad day.
Oh no, it's Liliana.
I think I like being mana efficient here, though.
I think I like being mana efficient, and Kalidas is able to stop a Scrap Heap Scrounger pretty effectively.
I mean, either play was getting eaten by Spellcaller.
Yep.
So maybe that's what he was playing. It could be also just be what he was playing around, that or Metallic Rebuke. Especially since he has a backup Lily.
It's probably a Metallic... Well, no, it had to be the Spell Queller. I guess he's accepting that one of those is going to get eaten by Spell Queller. I suppose. So here comes another massive attack, and this is a 3-turn clock, almost a 2-turn clock. If he adds any power to the board this turn, it's a 2-turn clock. So I think this is where you do run out Toolcraft.
Well, the players do have access to the other's deck lists.
Mm-hmm.
And so Loop knows that there are no sweepers in Fink's list.
Is that a Woodland Developer? That is a Woodland Developer. It's not the top deck he needs right now.
No.
So, at this point, he can run out Kalidas.
I think it's got to be Kalidas and Delily, and hope that's good enough.
Looks like another Lily or a Doomfall is going to come out, so it's just another Lily.
That's fine. It does deal with the Toolcraft.
He could potentially... Yeah, he needs to shoot off the Toolcraft Exemplar. I was going to say he could potentially try and get something out of his grave, but he really needs a Fatal Push off the top, I believe. Oh, that's going to seal the deal right there.
This is over.
That is the linchpin, nail in the coffin.
Yep, he's going to say you, end step, Avacyn. Doesn't matter what Cleus does in terms of exiling things.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter. No amount of removal drawn. Dead fetch land in hand. That's going to be the first game wrapping up here. I believe. Let's see. What's his play? Well, yeah, because of the Avacyn. Yeah. It doesn't matter what he plays. Avacyn, he gets flashed in EOT and he dies. 2 flyers.
He could think he's fine, plus on the...
No, he knows about the one Avacyn from the duress earlier.
Yep.
So... That is game 1 going over to Loophole.
And I think that's as expected on the play, pre-sideboard. Fink does have a lot of clunky cards that aren't great in the matchup.
Yes, that's... Doomfall is an okay card, but I definitely feel like against a very fast deck, it's very, very too slow. Just 3 mana to kill something is not the greatest, and it is an exile effect, so you can kind of start trapping people, but...
It also is, you're playing Doomfall against a deck with Thraben Inspector, and that's just, that feels bad.
Thraben Inspector, Metallic Rebuke, there's a lot of things that come in and really mess with that game plan.
So the opening hand from Loop for game 2 on the draw is pretty weak. Obvious mulligan, I think.
Yeah, that
If
is
he
a
had a
very
white, if
obvious
he had an
mulligan.
untapped white source, I would consider it.
I believe with an untapped white, you go with it because you have 2 plays before you're really dead. But
And Toolcraft will be a 3-power attacker on turn 2.
yep, there's a lot of good things if that's an untapped white, but
It is not.
it is not. That is a very quick ship. That is nothing in hand can be played. Need to draw white sources to really start even considering the hand, and that's not where you want to be.
But like a good player, he's going to wait for Fink to draw his opener and make his decision.
You definitely do. It makes it a little bit easier to judge whether or not your 6 is there, and it also makes it harder on them to decide whether or not their 7 is as good. So,
No reason to give out free information.
Yep. There's the easy mole. That's a much better hand. I really like that hand. It's got a really nice curve.
Well, the one thing it's missing is an artifact for Exemplar.
It is missing an artifact, but
it's fine.
It's
With a
fine.
Scry,
he has enough there to scry and get in everything. Duress takes Rebuke, which is okay, but not terrifying.
like I said, Duress is not at its best in this matchup, I don't think.
No. If he'd hit a Smuggler's Copter, that would be a different story. Dressing away a
Right.
Copter is really, really good, but hitting Rebuke is middling. And there's the Scrounger, so this hand just got really explosive.
Oh yeah. This is the hand dreams are made of.
This is a brutal hand.
All it needs now is something like a Spellcaller or another Rebuke just to tempo Fink out a little bit.
Reflector Mage is pretty good at that.
True. But something more, I think more reactive in this case, where you don't have to necessarily commit something to the board. Double Scrap Heap's quite nice.
Yikes.
So hard to deal with.
Even if one gets killed, there's going to be an immediate run back, so. Move to combat. Before combat, we're going to Fatal Push that Scrap Heap Scrounger. Get that out of here, so only taking 1, but still fine.
I'm not sure what's in Fink's hand, so I'm not sure
Yeah.
if I like pushing Scrounger or just getting the actual card off the table.
I still like pushing the Scrounger overall. I think it's a little bit of a higher tempo play.
If he has Liliana in hand, then this plays pretty good because it deals
Yes.
with those things. But
If he has
he didn't.
Liliana, he's got not Liliana. So here's a fetch. Probably going to get a basic. Yep, basic planes.
I imagine we're running Scrap Heap out here.
This is going to be Scrap Heap number 2. Is
Yeah.
there an answer for this one? Ooh, there is not an answer, so this is a smack you for 3.
Could be Kolagon's command.
I think if it's K command, you at the
Kills
beginning.
both creature. Or murders,
Yeah, okay,
sorry.
so cut makes sense too. Yeah, if you K command, you don't even really let it go to combat. I don't believe.
You just kill both creatures, right?
You
deal
just
2
blow
damage
up
to every
both creatures and feel good with the 2 for 1.
Yeah. I would say double black. Not having double black is rough, but Urberg forgives all sins.
He's got double black. As it turns out, Urborg's a pretty okay card.
It's just nice to have
Alright,
access
so
to.
his hand is a Liliana Death's Majesty, a Traverse, and a Woodland Bellower.
He has the wrong Liliana.
This is
That's
not the Liliana you want. And Traverse is definitely not what you want here either. I mean, it's gonna be
It guarantees Liliana next turn.
it guarantees Liliana next turn, but it always feels a little bit awkward to fire that off for a basic. At least in my opinion.
I mean, given that he has a 5 and a 6 drop, it's not the worst spot to be.
It's better than the alternative of not being able to cast the 5-drop next turn. So basic swamp going in the hand.
Pretty sure you're supposed to get your last forest because you only have the 1 mountain. just because Forest is green-black with Urborg out. I don't
Probably.
think it matters,
I don't believe
but
there's any land destruction, Ghost Quarter type effects. So here's a swing for 3. So is this a pass, hold up, spell queller? Yes.
there's no reason to run out Mage, I don't think.
No. And you can get back Scrap Heap at instant speed, so it gives him flexible plays. Eat a 4-drop, or so he's gonna eat a 4-drop, I think, or is it non-creature? Nope. Target
Nope.
spell.
He's
Here's
gonna
a
eat it.
spell queller.
I don't like that play.
Chomp.
With my opponent leaving up 3 mana on turn 3, I think I run out my 5-drop to play around Spellcaller.
I believe so. And this looks like it's going to be real brutal, too, with that top deck Rebuke.
Yeah. This is where the pressure plus the counters is just going to tempo Fink out of the game.
He needs to find... Well, he couldn't just Murderous Cut here. This actually might not be the worst. Murderous Cut...
If he delves everything, it does get through.
Yep. Murderous Cut Queller, and then get back Kalitas. Kalitas eats the Scrap Heap Scrounger. It's not a bad line.
Not the worst draw in the face of what appears to be an excellent hand from Loop.
So here's a... Yep, Murderous Cut. Should be Spell Queller. It's the Spell Queller. Spell Queller is going to spit out Kalitas.
And we're going to see Loop probably bring back the Scrap Heap in his graveyard.
Yep. So, exile the Exemplar. Get back a Scrap Heap Scrounger. Perfectly fine.
Then he's going to Reflector Mage, get in there for 6.
Yep.
Still looks bad for Fink.
It's not a great spot to be in still. Delta.
I don't care that you get your 4th land. You're playing Reflector Mage and smashing.
Yep. Reflector Mage. Bounce Kalitas. So, I think it's top deck a land for Woodland Bellower or die. Liliana just gets counter. Well, even then, Metallic Rebuke's gonna probably take care of things. I think this is another wrap already. Looks like Loop is going to think a second.
Well, if he does smash, he can't rebuke because he only has 1 mana.
That is true. He can't rebuke, so he's holding back. That's interesting. It's another traverse. Not exactly where you want to be. Well, he can improvise. Yeah, this is...
He can cast rebuke because he held back. If he had smashed, he wouldn't have the improvise.
I think this 100% signals improvised rebuke. If you
yeah, for sure.
Yeah, like clear board, not lethal, but setting up lethal the next turn.
Well, I suppose he does still threaten lethal actually because he can get an emblem.
He can.
So actually,
okay.
I hadn't considered that, and I think actually with that, this line of play is correct.
Yes, this is the correct line of play. I would agree. So here comes 3, 4, 5.
I mean, you can't afford to play around it at this point.
Here's Liliana. Here's the Rebuke. Here's the Gideon.
On to game 3 with Loop up 2-0.
Just
needs a hell of a sideboard.
It's not impossible, but this is definitely not pretty either.
Nope, we're really seeing, I think, the power of Esper vehicles and just being able to apply early pressure and tempo you out of the game with all of its counter spells.
Counter spells, bounce spells, classic everything. So that would be a swing for 11. So this is going to be sideboard games. So 2-0 already for Loop here.
So speaking of sideboards, I guess we'll start with Fink since he needs the most help. He has 2 Tormod's Crypt, 2 Sorcerer's Spyglass, 1 Hornet Nest, 1 Infinite Obliteration, 1 Pulse of Marasa, 1 Radiant Flames, 1 Rex Sage, 1 To the Slaughter, 2 Languish, 2 Goblin Dark Bows, and 1 Emrakul, the Promised End. Gotta see Reclamation Sage, lots of good targets there.
Radiant
Languish
Flames
is probably okay. Radiant Flames as well.
I definitely think you want to board in the board wipes to deal with the early pressure.
The only issue with the board wipes is against Smuggler's Copter. It's kind of Smuggler's Copter and Gideon is kind of bleh, but you got to do what you got to do. Um,
Definitely better than
Hornet
not boarding
Nest
in.
is a pretty good blocker here, but I feel like you have a lot of clunky cards to board out, like Woodland Bellower. Um, Dragon Master Outcast is not. This is not the matchup for that.
No.
This is not the matchup for Duress. I don't think it's the matchup for 5 mana Liliana. So you've got a good number of cards to board out, and you can bring in some like reasonable cards, maybe like a Hornet Nest or a Pulse from Marasa.
Mm-hmm.
Other than that, I don't think there's too much. You don't bring in Tormod's Crypt just for
Scroungers, no.
Then for Loop, 1 second.
He's got 2 Dispels, 2 Fatal Pushes, 3 Arashan Clerics, 2 Disdainful Strokes, 2 Painful Truths, 2 Hostage Takers, a Fumigate, and a Scarab God.
I like Fumigate actually out of the Vehicles Gideon deck. I think that's pretty solid. Especially against a mid-range creature deck, I think that'll actually perform fairly well here. Fatal Push is reasonable in this matchup. Disdainful Stroke is pretty strong against all the Haymakers. Painful Shoes and Hostage Taker both seem like reasonable options. So he's got a lot of reasonable things. I'm just not sure what he doesn't like here. And how much room he thinks he has. Anything seem obvious to you and seems kind of weak in the matchup?
I don't necessarily like Avacyn if you know he's bringing in the Languish or you suspect he's bringing in the Languish, because she doesn't protect your creatures from that particular wrath. So I think that's the only thing I don't love on first blush, where you could possibly bring in something that goes a little bit under, but looks like they're already swinging. So here's a hissing Quagmire tapped.
And we already see one sideboard card, Languish.
We see the Languish, and we see the Disdainful Strokes. So both players boarding. A very much slower hand to start out for Loop. He's not got the pressure he's had.
Yeah, he doesn't
previously.
have the turn one what's it called? Toolcraft this time.
He does not
He
have
does, however, first time he's seen Smuggler's Copter all match, so that'll be fun.
Here is the Looter Scooter.
Oh, interesting. So Loop did mention in a group what he sided out. He took out all 4 Toolcrafts and put in Disdainful Stroke, Scarab God, and 1 Painful Truths.
That's pretty good. I do like Scarab God quite a bit.
Yeah.
Scarab God is incredibly difficult to answer. And with the likelihood that Doomfalls came out,
yeah,
he's probably not got... The next level would be to keep in Doomfall, even though it's a very middling card, just to deal with the Scarab God. That would be the next level, but...
Yeah. In Loop spot, I think I actually like leaving up Kolaghan's Command here, because the obvious play is to play some 3-drop. And then
Smuggler's
Crew.
Copter. Yep.
And then it's very likely that Kolaghan's Command cleans all of that up.
Mm-hmm. There's another K command to the graveyard. And no Snapcaster Mage in this format.
Fatal Wayfinder's fine. It's
a fine creature.
Develop it out.
Here's a Caves of Koios.
Third land, huge. Never didn't have it.
Never didn't have it. And this should be a Thalia. If I'm a betting man, this is a Thalia.
Yeah.
Nope, it's a Scrounger. All right.
Could also be Scrap Heap Pass, because then it allows him to leave up Rebuke. Yep.
So Scrap Heap Pass, leave up Rebuke. I think this is another easy read onto the Rebuke.
I think I would have pushed there in Fink's spot. I mean, I know I have... Yeah. I know I have Cletus in hand, but I don't think I want to get that greedy.
All right, so he's passing. It looks like what he wants to do is nab Copter with push, make him go for the Rebuke, and then K command in response.
Well, Rebuke wouldn't counter the push because he had enough mana up.
Well, I think he wants to bait him. Either he doesn't, get it countered because he sees he has enough mana and the push is just efficient, or you can K command in response and get both creatures.
Yeah, I think he's gonna push here.
So here's the push. So this should just be fine, and then he has backup K command if not, so it's fine.
Do you run out Dahlia here, or do you continue to leave up Rebuke? Plus Disdainful Stroke.
I think, yeah, I think I don't run out Thalia. His development is already good enough. I think I'm much more concerned about stopping a Haymaker.
Yeah.
Both players playing a very controlled game. Not a
passive.
lot of action run out here.
Thraben Inspector is actually a really good draw because it allows you to play it and then you still have Rebuke up.
Mm-hmm. I definitely like Thraben Inspector. And getting the ability to instant speed draw a card, also good. So you either pass, leave up Rebuke, or if nothing happens, you can just crack a clue, draw a card, dig deeper. This also lets him swing in with the Scrounger. Oop.
Fink does have quite a bit to think about, and does he want to Kolaghan's Command here?
So
yeah.
This is going to be a K command response to ETB. So this means that the Rebuke has to come out now.
And it will tap down the Scrounger.
And it taps the Scrounger. It stops some damage. Destroy, strap. Okay, so he's just going to let it happen. So that he really values that clue token and the ability to rebuke something much bigger.
Yeah.
And he doesn't have a way to get back Scrounger yet, which is a problem. So
I mean, this Thraben Inspector is going to die at some point.
It is going to die at some point. Although I wouldn't expect him to... Ooh. Misclick. Shoot. Don't know what the misclick was, but here is land number 6, and this is going to be a very, very large Sylvan Advocate.
Yeah, this could threaten to just take over the game by itself.
There's not a good answer in hand. Reflector Mage is an okay tempo answer, but if he runs out Mage, then Languish can get turned online.
Looks like he's gonna fire up. Yeah.
Yep, here we go. Here's Quagmire. So Quagmire swinging in for 2.
4.
Or 4. That's right, Advocate.
Yep.
Advocate's
a big game.
It's a good card. I mostly remember it for just being a 2-mana 4/5, but yes, it does indeed make that a 4/4. That is a big boy. Loop also forgetting that Advocate is very, very strong card. At least how strong it was.
Yeah.
So here's the play. EOT, eat. Scrounger's not a good draw.
No, you're really digging for that 4th land, and because you don't have an artifact, you need it to be white.
Ugh. That is definitely not pretty. So the plays here are Reflector Mage, Thalia. One of the two's coming out. Probably Mage.
Yeah.
Here's Reflector Mage, bounce the Advocate.
Get in there for 1. Woo.
Swinging 1's not bad, but this opens him up to Languish being pretty brutal.
I mean, it's not the worst. Here it kills your Dorky 2/3 that already did its thing. It kills your Dorky 1/2 that already did its thing. So he already got value from both of his creatures, and it looks like Fink does plan on languishing.
Yep. Here's the block. He's got Languish, fire up Quagmire, swing in, which is a pretty okay line. Or he can Languish and... Yeah, it's Languish Quagmire.
I don't think he has quite enough mana for that. I think he's 1 short. Because he can fire up the Quagmire. It just
it doesn't attack. It has to tap itself. Yep. Here's Languish. Clear the board.
This is where untapped white would be absurd, but unfortunately.
It's not happening. So this is, I suppose, either run out a Scrounger. It's going to be Scrounger hold push. So at least he gets to take care of Sylvan Advocate. Unless there's a top deck Duress. There's a top deck Kalitas.
Kalitas plus Advocate's pretty spooky.
It's a pretty good series of draws. So here's Kalitas.
and unfortunately does not have a way to turn on Revolt for loop for his push.
Nope. So push the Advocate is probably correct, but it feels bad. Advocate gets replaced by a zombie.
Or it doesn't exile your own creatures, Cletus.
Oh, okay. None to an
Just your
opponent.
opponent.
You're right. Okay.
It's not completely, absolutely busted.
I did not see that card very much. That was around the time that I transitioned to the Legacy. I just knew it exiled things, got other things. This should be a Delirium. So we have creature, sorcery, instant land. This is Delirium, Traverse.
So depending on what's still in his deck, this has a lot of options.
This has a huge amount. He could go get Nissa. And I just passed, I think.
Well, he's gonna attack first.
Okay, he attacks first. Gain some life. Okay, here's Traverse.
So what's still in your deck? I imagine it's going to be Ishkana.
Spell Queller did not get fired off eating it. It can either be an Ishkana.
He feels like he has Disdainful Stroke, and that's probably going to get whatever he gets.
Ooh, it could be a Tarka.
I'm not sure if a Tarka would still be in the deck at this point. Ishkana is definitely in the deck.
Ishkana is definitely in the deck, and Ishkana is great too. I think you get a big boy.
Yeah, unfortunately, Ishkana is going to eat Disdainful Stroke or Rebuke, whichever loop feels like he needs to use.
Pretty much no matter what he plays, it's going to be eaten because Queller plus Stroke hits everything. And he also has Rebuke, so he's got options.
Fink's going to take his time, figure out what he wants to get countered.
We believe that Bellower was sided out, correct?
I think I would.
So here's Ishkana, and here is Ishkana. And here's a Disdainful Stroke, it looks like.
Oh no, he's going to bring back Scrounger, and then, oh, that's wonderful.
Rebuke. Yep. This is a good tempo play.
And it uses all of his mana, which is quite good. He's really hard pressed for mana, so anytime that he can make a super mana efficient play like this,
it's gonna help. It's still not drawing lands. At least Looter Scooter can help that. Looks like he's gonna run out Thalia instead.
Probably Thalia smash for 6,
nope.
Maybe?
He's thinking. Smash for 6,
smash for 6,
then run out Thalia. Hold up Spell Queller for any Fatal Push shenanigans. Here's the Thalia. Pass back. Untaps. Tracker's not bad. He has an untapped fetch to activate it as well.
Yep. It's going to be some pretty nice value.
Here's a Tracker. It's tapped. Thank you, Thalia. Crack. Go get a land. And then maybe immediately cash in?
I think so. I feel like if you draw a push and get a zombie, that's a pretty big game.
Push kills Thalia, which is a pretty big game. Because
Also,
that would allow him to swing.
He did get a basic, so that leaves also the option for Cooldown Command.
Yes.
Be absolutely savage. 2 zombies. Get rid of Thalia.
Get rid of Thalia. So here's a clue. This should be an instant crack before combat. Pass. Not sure I like that line, but it lets him be reactive.
This is brutal, man. No 4th land.
No 4th land at turn 19, it says. He's digging. He's looking. So here's Inspector Copter. No swing, so crack the clue.
Finding,
Land.
okay. Finding 2 clues. Well, 1 clue this turn.
Ooh.
Thalia
Quagmire,
coming in
Quagmire.
through again.
Yep. Here's Quagmire. Make a clue. Crack a
Crack
clue.
clue.
Draw a card. He should have 2 counters on him. Yep.
Yep. Another land.
Jeez. These players having a little bit of opposite problems. The one side, spell, 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 no land. The other side, all the land in the world. Can't do that much with it. I don't think there's profitable attacks for Fink here.
Well, he does have a Cletus, so I feel like all attacks are pretty good.
The Thalia plus one other thing eats.
Or just blocks, it trades. I guess you would trade Cletus for Thalia and then you get a zombie.
Or you could trade a Scrounger plus Inspector and get
Well,
2
Scrounger can't
zombies,
block.
and then Thalia holds off zombies. Oh, that's right. Scroungers cannot block. Scrounger, it's been a hot
Could also
minute.
just send in Hissing Quagmire.
So here's
I like
Quagmire.
I like Quag. Well, no.
I don't like Quagmire because Thalia is first
Why?
strike.
Yeah.
She eats Quagmire for breakfast. It's an all-out swing, so I believe the correct line here is, let's see, fire up Copter. No, I don't want to
get
trade
Cletus off the
Copter.
board. I don't want to either, but I feel like getting Cletus off the board is really important.
I would be inclined to agree. So here's a crew. So block. It's gonna be a 2-for-1
Yep.
trade to get Kalidas off the board. I'll get 2 zombies. I'll kill your Hissing Quagmire. Take a bunch of damage.
Take 5, go to 2,
Loot
get 1 zombie.
away the Avacyn. So kill the Copter. Here's zombie. Quagmire's dead.
This is one of the reasons why I generally don't like Scrap Heap as a card, because you're just going to end up being behind, like in this situation. And it not being able to block is so huge.
It's definitely a risky proposition.
Yeah. It's definitely a powerful card. And in this spot, it's just showing why the drawback is so super real. Why it's not
Reflector
being
Mage
played in
is
a lot more.
actually okay.
You can kill a token or you can reset Tireless Tracker, both of which seem fine.
The downside is he would not be able to hold up Queller. And if he reads... So right now he can block and kill the zombie token and then chump the Tireless Tracker. And that leaves up the possibility of Spell Quellering a follow-up play.
Based on this line, it looks like he's going to bounce the tracker.
That would be my read as well. So he is now currently turned off from white mana.
Yeah, now he needs untapped white that's not a fetch.
He needs an untapped non-fetch white at turn 21.
So he has 3 plains, 2 Glacial Fortress. Nothing else works. That's all he's got.
Not good. Not good odds.
And this is going to be Sylvan Advocate Cletus, which is pretty backbreaking again.
It's massively backbreaking.
Actually,
Or a tracker could run out. You could run out
it got
Cletus
mage.
Tracker Tapland.
Tracker got mage, so not quite this turn.
Oh yeah, that's right. Mage is so good. Mage is so good.
I think I almost like Advocate Slam with Quagmire.
So here's the Advocate.
It forces a chump.
Is he open to backswing then, though?
That's also a reasonable question. You'll have the zombie up,
Because you
so that can
chump.
block 3 damage. He
So you-
takes 7.
So not
Not
quite.
quite.
So it's going to be the Cletus run out, which I also don't hate. Okay, thinking back.
9 and dies to a Gideon emblem. So yeah, he's leaving Quagmire back on defense.
Which I don't hate. Smuggler's Copter number 3. This is unfortunate stuff.
The worst Rubbin would have been a fetch land.
That would have been the absolute worst. You're not wrong. Just, oh hey, you wanted mana the whole game long? Here, I'll give you mana. RIP typing wrong lands. So
Can't cast Spellcaller because that requires
white.
Cave of Koilos or Spire.
Which he doesn't have. Gonna think for a while. Tap, untap.
Gotta do some math. Figure out what he can do to win the game. And also not die.
He definitely wants to win the game and not die. Not die is the big one. I think at some point... It's just really hard. He wants to leave up enough things to block and to crew Copter, because Copter being able to... So, alright, here's Quagmire. Quagmire is going to trade off with one of these Scroungers.
Because it's a 4/4.
Oh, that's right. Advocate's so good. Every time. Advocate's just insanely good.
So, Fink is going to fall down to 8. Scrap Heap's going to go down. That can't come back because black mana.
He doesn't have black mana. He needs untapped, non-painful sources.
For black mana that doesn't hurt him, he has 4 Concealed Courtyards and 1 Sunken Hollow and 1 Swamp. The rest of his black mana will hurt him.
He needs to... If there's any way for the Smuggler's Copter to survive, that's what he needs, is the Smuggler's Copter to not... Here's another Traverse.
Traverse has got to be game.
This has got to be it. Traverse, this gets a Tarka. Right?
It's got... I'm checking his basics to make sure Wooded Foothills can get an untapped land.
He's got Forest.
Yeah, he should have enough forest left.
Yeah, we saw 3 forests, I believe. So he should have forest.
If a Tarka is still in his deck.
Either a Tarka or Bellower. I don't think you board out all of your fatties.
Well, he still had Ishkanon. We saw that. That's the best fatty.
He's got at least one still in. I think he's thinking about what he wants to get. But I think a Tarka wins the game.
Oh, yeah. Deals 5 damage, so you can deal with Thalia and Reflector Mage. It doesn't win the game this turn.
It's pretty close because it cuts him off of chump blockers, and he gets to get Copter and then smack in, and any one connected attack kills. So, yep, there's a Tarka. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, there's the scoop. When in doubt, Jund him out.
It's been a while since I've seen a Tarka hit the battlefield.
Turns out it's still a good play. Who'd have thunk?
When you resolve in a Tarka. Whew. Alright, game 4 on the draw for Mr. Fink this time.
Oh! Yep, that was an easy mole. 6 lands and an Inspector, or 5 lands Inspector, and that was a quick mole.
Interesting that Duress is still in the deck.
It gets to hit Smuggler's Copters, which I think is a nice... I like hitting Copters.
So risky for me, because like anytime past turn 5, I feel like that's just going to be a mostly dead card where you just want to affect the board.
I think it's more about answering the very problematic stuff early in the game. It lets him pick out Gideons and Copters,
Sure.
and it lets him get out.
And this game is going to get painful truths.
He gets painful truths this game. So it gets fatal pushes, which are nice. Murderous cut. It has live targets.
Yeah, I'm not saying it doesn't have targets. I just feel like this matchup is about the board, and I want my spells in this matchup to impact the board. Woodland Bellower is also still in the deck.
So he did not board out a single fatty. I think we definitely cut some number of Doomfalls.
I feel like it's probably Dragon Master Outcast, Big Liliana, Doomfall.
Yes. I think those are your cuts. Doomfall is definitely at an all-time low here, so that's going to be pass back, hold up Mage. Mage into Gideon is a really awkward curve.
Gideon's just going to be, I think, fantastic here.
Gideon's going to be fantastic, but you still want to run out Mage and bounce something in tempo at the same time that you want to play Gideon. It's a little awkward. It's not the worst. You definitely... Oh no, it's so awkward. And look, this time we have untapped, non-painful color sources. So
wow, we get to cast our spells.
This is going to be a good game going in here.
Ooh, that's actually a nice draw. Lets you play Reflector Mage and use all your mana.
So here's going to be Reflector Mage, bounce your Tireless Tracker. Here's the Thraben Inspector. I get a clue. Here's 3 damage to your face. Next turn, Gideon, and start really, really, really going in.
I think I almost attack first and offer the trade, because then I just do it to play Gideon on an empty board. But this is fine too.
So the big risk here is he's out on board, and this is going to be a 3-for-1 Languish on the backswing.
Well, kind of 3-for-1. Thraben Inspector
replaces itself.
An addition. Yeah, and then Scrap People will come back. So it's not the worst in loop spot.
Yeah, there's definitely worse things to happen. It's still
good for Frank, though. It's going to alleviate the pressure.
It gets pressure off of the board, which he just needs to buy a few turns. He's got the ability to cast this Woodland Bellower as soon as turn 6 comes around. He just has it. Next turn, he gets to go Tracker and Nissa. And that's going to be... Or not and, I guess. Right, it's tapped, right? No, it's into hand. Never mind. Either way.
Getting on an empty board is going to be quite strong here.
Gideon's nice. It's just going to be spit out a token.
And he has a card in the bank and that clue. So he's not in a bad spot.
No, he's not in a bad spot. I think this is probably the most competitive game we're going to see between these decks so far. Big Lily's still in there.
Huh.
A little bit surprised.
Yeah. Nothing right now to bring back.
You could just create a 2/2.
Yeah, creating a 2/2 is quite strong, but I'm just...
Chump out the Gideon for a turn and then slam Woodland Bellower the next turn. Looks like we're going to see Tracker instead, so he's going for a big tempo play. He's going to get 2 clues. He's going to be able to crack 1, and Tracker gets to get big. He's going to be able to eat the ally token easily, and...
Well, with 2 fetches in hand, if he's able to crack all of those clues reasonably quickly, that's blocking Gideon effectively.
It's killing Gideon.
Well, Gideon doesn't take damage, but...
No, I mean on the backswing.
Oh, sure, yeah.
It means that the Gideon is on mode create tokens. Because if he attacks at any point, basically the Gideon just dies for free. Because he gets to eat 1 clue right now. You take 1 hit from Gideon, and then so here's the swing, and this is kind of offering up Gideon for trade, I feel like. So, yeah,
almost.
take 5 from Gideon. Didn't swing with the ally.
Well, no, because clue token's up.
Clue token is up, so I guess that's his block.
Yeah,
Bellower's
he's probably
gonna be
blocking.
Big news, though. I cannot imagine you don't just run out Bellower.
Things to get. He has Advocate. He has Wayfinder.
Getting Advocate's sick.
Yeah, getting Advocate's really good.
I think that's your go-to. Draw the Fatal Push. Fatal Push is good. K-Command Fatal Push.
It's tempting, but I feel like it's just Bellower.
I don't see a world in which Bellower into Advocate is the wrong play. Bellower is just massive. Advocate's massive. Although if he does that, he's gotta offer up something for trade for the Giddy in the next turn, which does suck. Because otherwise he will die. Okay, so push the Knight. This is... Is this a read on the Spell Queller? Crack a clue? Nope, here's the Spell Queller. So this Spell Queller is going to get K-commanded.
Well, it doesn't die. It has 3 toughness.
Oh, no, that's right. It's not 3/2. So, yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Did Fink just throw the game?
It's not a throw, but he's in a bad spot.
Throw not in the sense that, like, he knew he had all the information, but throw in the sense that, like, this play just got him in a really bad spot.
It's in a bad spot. It's definitely somewhat of a throw. I don't know if it's all the way throw the complete game away, but that's a... So attacking Gideon. This might be the throw.
Yeah, you block there.
Block. I guess he's gonna slam Lily and return the tracker?
Well, the tracker's still alive because it has a counter.
Okay. So, yeah, I'm not entirely...
He can play a Nissa, or he can plus a Liliana.
Yeah, that's not great.
None of this leaves me feeling good if I'm Fink.
This is a pretty brutal... It's gonna be a Lily. Yeah, I'm not in a good spot.
I'm not happy about this.
At all. So, here's Tick Up. Mill some stuff, make a zombie. Zombie can at least chump.
If Loop has 2 draws to find a removal spell for it.
And he's got plenty. Reflector Mage will win the game.
Push wins the game.
Push will win the game. Did anything in board?
Oh, that also is very close. Yeah.
Yeah.
All of his game-winning plays are... Oh, yep, there's Murderous Cut.
Yeah,
and
that's
he has
it.
4 cards in his graveyard.
That's it.
That's the match, boys.
That was a
Girls.
very risky, high risk line of play that got punished here.
I'm not sure if there was anything he could have done differently. Like, I understand why he did that, because he needed to get Gideon off the table. It might have been just the play that he needed to make to go for the win, as opposed to the play that was playing not to lose. That might have been the case.
Yeah, it's definitely... That's pretty brutal.
Because we may have gotten too caught up in Bellower looking so good that it just might have been this line of play. If it works out and getting it off the table is just so much better.
Getting it off the table is definitely good. So that is a brutal end to that game. So close to stabilizing and then just eked out.
Because I think it has to actually be exactly Spellcaller there, because Metallic Rebuke isn't enough. Even if you make Fink play 3 mana, that still leaves 2 mana up for the second counter on Tireless Tracker, which still kills Gideon.
Yes.
Disdainful Stroke doesn't counter that. I guess Avacyn, was 5 mana up. Yeah, 5 mana was up, so Avacyn could have done it as well.
Avacyn could have done it.
So yeah, it had to be like Avacyn or Spellcaller to punish that line of play.
Is there a world where you lead on the Colligan's command instead, and then if it's Avacyn, you're still screwed the same,
Right.
If it's Rebuke, you still pay it, but then you can kill the Spell Queller by cracking a clue and Fatal Pushing the Queller,
Yeah. That might have
and you
been.
have just enough mana to do that.
I think that might have probably would have been better. Well, he also had a fetch land for revolt as well.
Yes, so he's got a ton
But
of outs that way. That might be the better line, but
yeah,
oh man,
I think leading on K command, if you're going to go for killing Gideon, was probably best.
I think it's the safer line. It leaves you less blown out to things. Even if it means that your follow-up plays can't be as massive, because if he has just another land in hand per se, you can only slam a Nissa, which isn't great. But at the same time, it's
I
still
think it
okay.
plays around the most things. I
Yes,
think.
I would agree with that assessment. So either way, congratulations to Loop
Yep, I look forward to playing him in the finals.
for
Should be
getting
fun.
it 3-1. And 2 really quick games pre-board as well. He did a really good job finding a lot of really good lines. I thought he played his deck very, very well. Probably a good matchup as well, so
Every time I've
congratulations
seen
to
him
him.
play the deck, he's played it very well.
And I think with this, I'm going to get set up for streaming my own match in the Legacy League. So it's
should
been a
be fun.
pleasure. Thank you for having me.
Thank you for coming on. It was fun.
All right, so if you guys want to head over to twitch.tv/glass_ninja, I will be up in probably 5-ish minutes and have a Legacy match. So this has been the Untapped.in Frontier League Semifinals for Season 4. Thank you for tuning in, and I will talk to you guys soon.